Rob Tebbutt here for Boxing News, joined by unbeaten lightweight contender Frank Martin. Frank, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Thanks very much for joining us today. Just a couple of weeks out now from your fight with Artem Harutunyan. How's camp been going? I get all the boring questions out of the way first.
It's been good, man. It's been a great camp so far. It's
Uh,
finished. It's at the end, so it's been great.
what are these last couple of weeks like of camp for you?
Just really just hard work, just pushing myself. It's real hot in the gym. It's super hot in the gym. We train in 116, degrees, so it's super hot. So just mentally pushing myself to the limits.
It's a busy gym as well now, so the more people, the hotter it gets.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your opponent, Artem Harutunyan. Like good amateur Olympic bronze medalist. He's unbeaten. I'm sure you're looking to take that O from him on the 15th. But what do you know about him? What are you expecting from him?
I'm expecting a guy to come out there and try to win a fight. He's an undefeated fighter. He got a huge amateur background. He got about 200, like around 200 something amateur fights. Was an Olympic brown medalist. So I'm expecting a guy who hungry for an opportunity to fight some of the top guys. But it's just one of those things, man. I can't let him get in the way of what I got going on. So I definitely plan on coming out victorious.
And before we talk about the future, let's talk about your year last year. You had that, well, really a breakout year, something of that with your wins over Ramiro Duno, Jackson Marinez, and obviously an outstanding performance against Michel Rivera. What did last year mean for you? What changed for you, and kind of what propelled you to where you've got to 135 pounds?
I feel like every fight I done improved in those fights that I fought. Those guys. They was fighters who had something. If boxing, them fighters that I fought was there was some fighters that was pretty. That was some good fighters to have on your resume. So each fighter, I learned a little bit from and grew. So having those caliber opponents on my resume. Some like Jackson Marinez, I had to fight. I had to figure some things out. Rivera, it was just one of those things where he was a boxer and a counter puncher. I had to figure him out. And Duno was a power puncher. So just seeing those different styles, man, just kind of just molding me and getting me ready for all these other top fights.
You mentioned those other top fights. I mean, 135 pounds is absolutely on fire. It's one of the best, if not the best, divisions in boxing. I'm sure you're not looking past Harutyunyan on the 15th of July, but let's say you get past him, as I'm sure you're planning to. Which fight do you want next?
I just want all the top fights. I want the big names. So one of them big names, one of the guys at the top want to give me an opportunity, man. I'm gonna take the opportunity. And it's no specific guy, just the ones who everybody know in the boxing world, outside the boxing world. I'm willing to take those fights if the opportunity presents itself.
And with that being said, how important is it that not only you win on the 15th of July, but you win in good fashion? You make a statement.
It's super important. It's super important. It's nothing that I'm gonna put too much pressure on myself about. But it's just about me going in there and just doing what I do. That's all I gotta do is get in the ring and do what I do, and everything it just flow. So I just gotta do what I do.
Now, Frank, I wanted to speak to you about a few other little bits and pieces around certainly some of your stable mates. I had a lot of questions planned for a lot of different fighters, and now I think I'm probably best off starting with a certain Jermell Charlo, who's got himself quite a big fight against Canelo Alvarez. I'm sure you're just as excited as he is for somebody that you train alongside to get such a massive opportunity.
Yeah, it was. I just seen it not too long ago, so it was kind of unexpected, but that's super dope. I'm happy for him, and he always working. He always in the gym, so he'll be ready when the time comes. But I'm super happy for him for getting that shot right there.
Now, I'm sure he'll be back in your guy, Jermell Charlo, but how big of a task is it jumping up two weight classes against Canelo Alvarez?
It's a task, it's a task for sure. But if it wasn't achievable, he wouldn't have took the task. So I think it's one of those things that he ready for it. If he took it, he willing to, he trying to make a legendary move. So, it's a task, but fighters done it. Canelo's done it. You know, it may be the first time Jermell's doing it, but you know, he'll be ready for it.
You mentioned Jermell there. Of course, you share a trainer in Derrick James. I mean, how much do you think Derrick James, Coach Derrick's going to be looking forward to plotting the downfall of Canelo Alvarez? Because that would be some win. You'd have to go some in the corner, I think.
Man, it'll be huge. You know, I can't imagine what he's feeling over there. You know, he's got an active year. You know, it's an active year for him. It's a big year for him, and all the fighters that he got. So, you know, I feel like he just got to be on point with everything right now. But he got it.
Now, I've just got a few quick more questions to run through. Do appreciate your time. I wanted to talk to you about Errol Spence again. You mentioned there about an active time for the gym. He's got himself another quite big fight coming up against Terence Crawford. It's the one that we've all been waiting to see. We know kind of from looking into your career and following your career how close you are with Errol. I'm sure you're going to be backing him to get the win over Bud Crawford. But first of all, what an amazing fight for boxing. We've all been waiting for it for years, and it's finally here.
Yep, it's here. You know, it's here. Errol talked to me about the fight. You know, we was at I think it may have been a Canelo. Was it Caleb? No, may have been a Canelo fight. I think we went to, and you know, he was talking about it like he wanted to fight and stuff like that. So now it's finally materialized. So it's pretty dope to see everybody in the gym getting the fights that they want to get. You know, they happening. So just seeing it unfold and being a part of it, you know, it's dope to see.
I'm sure you'll be backing Errol Spence. Of course, you're very close. He's your promoter, so you're going to have to back him. But what do you think gives him the edge over Terence Crawford?
Man, I feel like this is gonna be a fight of coaching, and it's gonna be a fight of, you know, just the determination. You know, determination. This is not one of those fights where, oh, what guy got better skills and this and that. It's not one of those fights because both guys got it. You know, and it's all about who is gonna, you know, capitalize off of every mistake that's made in the ring. You know, and I feel like the training that we do is pretty like calculated. So it's just all about who makes the less mistakes.
And just finally, we kind of touched on it a little bit at the start of the interview where I said, you know, it's a busy gym now. There's more bodies getting to the gym. Of course, you can hear from my accent that I'm from across the pond in the UK. You have a certain Anthony Joshua now in the gym, as well as Ryan Garcia, who's another recent addition to Coach Derrick's stable. What's it like having Anthony Joshua and latterly Ryan Garcia joining the gym?
Having Anthony in there is pretty cool. You know, those guys is pretty down to earth guys. You know, they come in, work hard. We talk a lot. It's pretty cool to have him in the gym. You know, he's been out here for a while, you know, just training and sharpening, just staying sharp and getting better, you know. So just seeing that too, just like when I got with Derrick, how I was improving and getting better, you know, seeing the same thing with Anthony, you know, it's sweet to see that as well.
Have you been practicing your British accent while he's been around?
I might pick up a little something. I may say a few words or something like
Go on,
that.
go on, let's hear it. Come on.
Mate, mate.
Not bad at all. Frank, right, before I let you go, I was wondering if you could do something. I had a quick idea for some word association. So I'm going to fire some names at you. I just want you to give me some very quick responses, okay? Keep it clean.
It depends on what it is.
So they're going to be names of fighters. Okay, so we're going to start off Jermell Charlo.
Hold on. What you mean about the names?
So I'm going to say a name and you just say the first word or two words that come to your mind.
All right.
Okay, so first one, Jermell Charlo.
Lion.
Shakur Stevenson.
Mm, uh, ah, God. Boxer, finesser.
Chris Colbert.
Colbert.
Anthony Joshua.
Beast.
Ryan Garcia.
Lightning.
Devin Haney.
Runner.
Errol Spence.
Determined shark.
Terence Crawford.
Uh, he say Aquaman.
Javonte Davis.
Gorilla.
Vasily Lomachenko.
Matrix.
Derrick James.
He the wizard.
Frank Martin.
Ghost.
There we have it. Frank Martin, thanks very much for your time. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing News, and all the best for July the 15th.
No problem.